Winning the MVP award in today's NBA could be harder than winning a championship, considering how many potential candidates there are. As the trophy has gotten passed around from one non-American to another, the one guy who's been left out has finally said enough. What Luca has done the first 3 games of this season is nothing short of miraculous, and these are definitely not empty stats that don't help your team win, and it's putting him on a direct path to winning his first NBA MVP. I examined all his buckets and dimes from the first 3 games, and a clear pattern emerged, something that won't surprise anyone. The vast majority of his scores and assists come from the pick and roll, using his size and strength for the shots and his immense gravity for the passes. Traditionally, Luka has been a below-average three-point shooter, primarily because he employs a two-motion shot where the ball pauses slightly at his set point and disrupts his rhythm. It's why he ends up making a lot of shots that appear rushed, but are only moving closer to the ideal one motion that guys like Steph Curry employ. I kind of felt bad for Xavier Tillman last night, as Luka cold targeted him constantly. Grant Williams sets a solid screen to get Smart off of him, and he does a great job to cut him off to the right, then shuffle to stop Luka from getting into the lane. But Luka hits him with a nice jab step hop where his two-motion shot is easier to manage from 17 feet. At the end of the first half, the Mavs were nursing a 3-point lead, so they go at Tillman again. This switch is too easy, but this is even better defense to stay in front and contest without fouling. But Luka is completely dialed in on his step back so far, scorching from 3 at almost 50% on the season on high volume. The next time down, to prove it wasn't a fluke, they run Spain pick and roll to get Smart off of Luka, but now he's got to contend with the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Jaren Jackson Jr. Luka catches his feet out of position here on the first crossover, then buckles his knees with a between the legs left to right, then steps back behind the line where Jackson gets all up in his grill, and Luka has to hurry the release with a lot more arc, and it drops perfectly through the net. Here's Spain again with Hardaway Jr. back screening the ball screener's man, but it's contained well, so THJ goes to set another ball screen. With another elite defender on him, he doesn't even try to beat him, sidestepping from 9 feet behind the line, catapulting this thing without any follow-through, and it's a perfect make to tear the hearts out of the Grizzlies. This might look familiar, but we're also in crunch time when Memphis was making a run to get this thing close. There's the switch. Luka skip dribbles here, which gets Jackson to turn his hips, triggering the step back for 5 feet of space and another no follow-through splash. Also, pay attention to the secret to shooting from deep off the dribble. He floats the ball and then dips it as if it were a catch-and-shoot shot. Unclear why they didn't stick with the attack of Jackson Jr., but they decided to target Zaire Smith by forcing this switch. Perhaps he knew he'd get away with pushing off on the younger player before hitting the little runner. Against Brooklyn, he was doing similar stuff, making sure Ben Simmons had to switch off of him before going to work on the smaller Cam Thomas. He takes the contact, rises up off 1 foot, and then displays beautiful touch on the roll. He doesn't want to go at Mikal Bridges, however, he's just playing a different game out here. He shortens the right foot step slightly, that freezes the defender. Then a quick left foot step gets him even with Finney Smith, and that's all the advantage he needs to 1-2 it on a fadeaway from the baseline. Even when they try to double him on the perimeter, it's too little too late, as the left shoulder contact creates 5 feet of space, but it's the step back that maintains just enough room to get this off into a two-motion catapult swish that was instrumental in getting them back in a game they ultimately won, thanks to MVP Luka. It's truly remarkable how often something special happens when this guy gets out on the court, and you're going to want to see him live and in person, which is why you must download SeatGeek, the best app to find tickets to any sporting event, concert, or the theater. With just a few taps, SeatGeek will scour the internet for the best deals out there, giving them a grade so you know what kind of value you're getting. They're rated #1 on Trustpilot amongst all major ticketers, so you can feel secure that your tickets are legit. Best of all, you can save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBALL. So head over to SeatGeek now and you can enjoy all your favorite NBA teams live and in person. Now, let's look at some of his assists, since he's got a new target in Derek Lively II, who's got serious bounce. Lively is the second ball screener to the right, and notice 3 players get sucked into Luka's gravity, enabling the Statue of Liberty flip for the easy flush. You can see the complete control he has over the game with this high pick and roll. Collins needs to step up to thwart the three-pointer. Luka keeps Sochan on his back with the slightest extension of that right arm, and he might not have made the best decision here. Without the Collins contest, he had an open floater, but then we wouldn't have gotten the climb the ladder dunk. I think Luka is having fun tossing these up and seeing what happens, as the quick step-up screen finds him with a step on his man, forcing Collins into an untenable position. And when I say untenable, I mean dunkable onable. And to show how much trust Luka has in him already, without even getting the screen, he lofts it up to an area only Lively can get it. And I love how quickly he turns a tough catch into a step in reverse before Collins knew what hit him. What opens up everything for Luka is the very real fear of him waltzing into the lane for layups off of ball screens. Watch how Luka shows the Statue of Liberty lob, causing the defender to glue himself to Lively, and it's an easy layup. The Mavericks like to set the quick step-up screen to his right, and even though he's not quick, he's shifty. Look what the look away and pause does to Doug McDermott, opening up the gates right to the rim where the skinnier Sochan can't do anything about it. Against Brooklyn, he catches his defender looking to his left at the screen, so he rejects it, and once you're stuck on his side, you're just along for the ride. Watch how he extends the last step to get more space and throw off the defender's timing for the inside hand layup. Keep your eye on the Luka-Lively tandem, since it's already so good. Collins doesn't want to get dunked on, so he keeps backing up. Sochan does his best but goes for the pump fake, and it's yet another layup. You need to have a defender who's as big and strong as Luka is, or else he'll just shuck them off with the subtle forearm nudges he's become great at. The refs won't call it, and his touch around the rim is too good. Here's another lively rim run that will open up layups for Luka. It's almost an impossible choice to make, and they'll have to try blasting him with a double team at the point of the screen. Having an elite rim runner to screen for Luka is going to open up so many things, considering how good Luka's vision is. The defense will have to play the perimeter honest for fear of open threes, and that just lets Luka get right to the rim. I love this delayed step on the left, waiting for the contact before softly banking it in. Remember, nothing in the rules state how quickly you must take your final two steps before jumping. He's just toying with the defense out there. I suspect we'll see a regression to the mean on his three-point shooting, but when he's hot, there's no stopping him. We already showed you a number of clutch shots he hit. This one was huge as it cut the lead to 2 with 2 minutes left. And we found out why he didn't want to go at Bridges, as he deflects the dribble and force him into a crazy tough shot, but it doesn't matter. These are the moments that inch him closer to the MVP award. To be the MVP in my book, you need to be the player on your team who the coach hands the ball to on the final possessions and says, "Go win us this game." It's clear no one else in the Mavericks wants to shoot it either, so Luka uncorks this step-through half hook off the glass from 3 that ends the game. And to finish the Spurs game, he isolates on top, uses the slightest of pushbacks to freeze the defender in place before stepping back 5 feet and rising up over 2 players to put the nail in the coffin. While this Mavericks team might be flawed on paper, they do have one of the most skilled guards we've ever seen in Kyrie Irving, and a cast of complementary players around the heliocentric Doncic that could continue to develop into a tough out in the playoffs. But it's going to be a massive burden on Luka to come through with incredibly tough shot after tough shot just to eke out wins in October. But I think Luka is up for it, and that means this Mavs team should overachieve. And with someone like this on your side, you can never count them out.